this Superman movie review because I have a lot of things to say about it. We don't need the shades on or anything. Zombie said, "How do I feel Superman being called an immigrant?" Yes, they did it in a way where it was very roundabout. They had to antagonize Lex Luthor, which Holt did a great job playing Lex. It felt like there was generational hate from Lex towards Superman the entire movie. He didn't even refer to him as a man, but referred to him as an it. Like he wasn't even a person worth acknowledging. That's how much of a nuisance Lex looked at him as. But yeah, that was the main thing, and the main theme of the movie was the fact that they had to basically have Superman struggle with this identity crisis where he believed he was sent to Earth by his parents to protect humanity when in reality it was he was sent there to destroy humanity, and he had this inner conflict. So it showed the internal struggle there, and it also showed the external, where everyone turned against him because Lex Luthor had that smear campaign. So that's what made it, I guess, the way that it was, where he has this uphill battle the entire movie, trying to prove his humanity, or I guess justify it. Even in the interview we had with Lois Lane, where they were sitting in their apartment. So I say all that to say, I think they captured that part. They made the lighthearted points to the movie. They had the lighthearted moments and things like that to the movie, which I enjoyed. But there were some things I did not like. And one of the main things was the fact that they kind of rushed the Justice Gang showing up. It was like Superman was fighting Ultraman. He was getting beat. Ultraman gets congratulated. And the next time we have Superman fighting someone, it's this giant Godzilla looking thing or a gremlin, whatever you want to call it. And then all of a sudden, the Justice Gang, excuse me, just magically show up. Like there's no build up to it. There's no actual backstory leading into how they showed up in the fray of the movie, and that's what bothered me because it felt very forced and very rushed. The action scenes that the Justice Gang were in, I did enjoy, but at the same time, I did not enjoy how every time the Justice Gang as a whole showed up, it just felt like they just popped up, just out the blue. Poof, there they are. There was no build of character development with a lot of them, besides Mr. Terrific. Every time Mr. Terrific was on screen, he made the best of it, whether it be comic relief or just showcasing how smart he is and how unique he is and how useful he was in this whole storyline against Lex Luthor and to stop the universe from being ripped apart. It's about time they actually showed Mr. Terrific some love, Like we saw him in Arrow, we've seen him in the obviously Superman movie, but you really don't get a whole lot of Mr. Terrific, I guess, screen time. So they really should make a show out of it, personally. But I don't know if they are, but they should. I know if Clayface is getting one, Mr. Terrific really should get one. I did not like the Ultraman they used because we all know that there is an Ultraman in DC, part of the crime syndicate. This Ultraman was a clone of Superman Clark Kent because Lex got a strain of his hair. I thought that was just kind of lazy. Like I get you want to make a mirror of Superman, someone who can fight on the same level, but at the same time, it just felt very forced. Like just use Bizarro or make you could have weaved in there Ultraman if you're gonna do this pocket dimensions and multi-dimensional travel. You could have easily found a way to weave in the real Ultraman. The movie had plenty of action to it. That's one thing I did enjoy about it. It was nonstop action from beginning to end. They even had their, those little heartwarming moments, whether it be Clark for his dog, where he's about to crash out, and Lex Luthor was loving this. There's moments where Rex or Metamorpho cared about his son. I guess the word, I want to say misfit, but he was one of the prisoners who had to keep Superman weakened, and they showed his vulnerability and his care for humanity, which they kept showing with different characters. Mr. Terrific, he cared about humanity, but it wasn't on some like he was really emotional. It wasn't anything like that. It was more get the job done, protect the people, etc. Like I mentioned before, Lex Luthor, that is a lot better than Jesse Eisenberg. Way better, way better. Because Jesse felt more like the Riddler, or he was trying to go for the Joker. This Lex felt like Lex Luthor. It felt like he was just determined to take down Superman. You could see the envy, especially when he had that monologue when Ultraman was fighting Superman near the end of the movie, and you could just see and feel the hatred that he had towards him. And that's something I feel like was missing. You really got to make it feel like Lex Luthor hates Superman. I don't like it where it feels like he don't like him, but it's not super intense. It's not like this real grudge that he has for him. I know they had the John Cena appearance in there. He was on a talk show talking crap about Superman. I thought, that's interesting. It's funny this comes out or came out around the same time as Heads of State, which is another John Cena film. And they're gearing up for Peacemaker season 2 next month. And I'm curious what this Green Lantern show is going to be like too. Because they say that Nathan Fillion, apparently it's different than the character we saw in the movie where he's laughing and seems a little bit more happy-go-lucky. No, it's a little bit darker in the show, how he acts. The big super villains and things that are fighting, like the big giant, I don't know, dinosaur gremlin looking thing, or Solaris, they made it seem like it's just super normal to see these giant monsters on a regular basis. They kind of did that with the Suicide Squad movie, the James Gunn version, where they had Starro, the giant. That's the thing. They love having these giant supervillains where they force team ups and you have these crazy action sequences and action scenes so you can get these crazy camera shots in. That's cool and all, but at the same time, it feels a little spammy whenever you keep throwing them in the movie. Like the Solaris fight scene was reduced to a comedic backdrop for Lois and Clark slash Superman to connect. It just felt like, why? This could be a moment you could really focus on it. And again, it was kind of like, oh yeah, there's the Justice League fighting some big giant alien in the sky. Like, come on, man. I like the music in the movie. I did like how they had at certain points the Superman theme song playing, which you would expect, give it that Superman feel. I guess some people don't like the fact how political it was because of the whole he treated like an immigrant in the climate that we're in right now. I guess the social climate. But really ask yourself this: what superhero really doesn't have some type of politics behind it anyway? Even if you look at Batman, the whole thing is morality about the kill no kill rule. So it's gonna be in every superhero, supervillain show, movie, whatever it may be. So people just got to accept that. It is what it is. There are definitely parts of the movie, even though it does have a lot of action, that it did feel rushed. I do like the fact it didn't feel like or it does feel kind of like a standalone Superman movie a little bit, but at times you can see where they're trying to set up other things. My favorite scene was whenever he showed up and fought showed up on like the army base and he just casually took out everyone. They just had this chill rock music playing in the background. And Lois is in this force field and she's just looking at him, just throwing hands. The T-Sphere's doing their thing and everyone just getting picked off left and right. And then it just ended. And he just kept walking like it was another day. There was the classic James Gunn scene where they had Superman use his ice breath to stop himself from going in a black hole. Thought, yo, that's pretty cool. It's weird that that's the only time we really see his ice breath is for this one moment when he could have used it various other times in other fight scenes throughout the movie, especially the stadium scene where he was fighting Ultraman or the engineer. He didn't think to use it for the nanotech. It was in his lungs and things too, so he couldn't. But I feel like there's other times he could have used that or his laser vision to display his power besides how strong, how fast, how high he can fly, things like that. Krypto, they did a good job making Krypto likable. It's the fun-loving dog that he clearly not trained, but just is loyal to Superman. And it is not afraid to ragdoll Lex or attack a giant monster or whatever the case may be, eat a T-Spear, whatever the case may be. I do like how they have the script flipped. The movie starts out pretty much that Superman's the villain. And then in the end, predictably, of course, it flips over to Lex being the one exposed as the true villain. And then it showed, okay, now he's getting arrested. And it fuels that hatred that he has for Superman that much more. I feel like they didn't get right with the last Superman, or really the Batman vs Superman movie. They didn't get that right. But this one, they feel you can just see this man is seething. When they follow up with it, I hope that they, tie up some loose ends or give some more backstory to the characters that got rushed and introduced in a very Zack Snyder-esque fashion. Like they did with Batman vs Superman. They just threw out here's Cyborg, Flash, Aquaman, like just off rip. I don't like that. They really should have had some other shows before the movie, to be honest. Like give us the Lanterns show first, then the Superman movie afterwards, so we're more familiar with them. But hey, James Gunn, that's what he likes to do. He likes to have a lot of action scenes. You're gonna get that. You're gonna get the crazy camera shots. Sometimes it's a little spammy, and you're gonna get a good soundtrack. I remember going into the Suicide Squad movie. I was thinking this movie gonna be trash, and I was wrong. I was like, dang, this is actually a pretty good movie, and it spawned the Peacemaker show, which is enjoyable considering Peacemaker's not a well-known anti-hero, superhero, whatever you want to call it. Overall, I enjoyed the movie. I like the fact that they introduced Supergirl in there, which we should have known was going to happen. Would I watch it again at some point? Yes, I would. I'm a little curious for the people that hate it. What was it that they really didn't like about it? Like, what were you really expecting if you didn't like the movie? Like, what did the movie not satisfy, in your opinion? Versus, if you did like the movie, tell me what you enjoyed about the movie. So, that's my thoughts on the Superman movie. If you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, all that. If you're on TikTok, follow me. Tap in. We got more videos dropping daily. Dragon Ball Z, Superman, Batman, DC, Marvel, all that stuff. Stay tuned. I'm going to do a movie review on Fantastic Four when that drops as well. We out.